Hey, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Vicki Chats podcast. Today in the studio with me, I have a very special guest, Tom Garland. He's the kind of performer who doesn't just tell jokes, he lives them, breathes them, and reinvents them every single night. Now, whether you've caught him lighting up the stage on the Vegas Strip or recognized him sharing the screen with WWE Hall of Famer Rob Van Dam in the cult hit Headstrong, Tom Garland is not your average comic. His comedy is unpredictable, uncensored, and undeniably original. Blending sharp stand-up, quick-witted improv, and fearless crowd work into a wild ride you're not ever going to forget. Yeah. So Tom's comedy journey has taken him from cracking up audiences across North America to earning nods from the legends like Steve-O and Tom Green. He's performed at venues like the MGM Grand, Planet Hollywood, and Bally's, bringing his high energy, in-your-face style to crowds that don't know what hit them. And the best part, no two shows are ever the same. So buckle up because Tom's here to share the chaos, the comedy, and the stories behind the spotlight. Welcome, Tom.
Thank you, Vicki. I appreciate it. Thanks for having me.
It's a pleasure and an honor. So tell me, let's rewind the tape. What's the very first childhood memory that still sticks with you today?
You know, one of the first things in terms of stand-up that I would have done was I had an experience where I was at Universal Studios when I was a little kid, and they had like a sound thing. It was kind of like this, kind of like a radio studio, but they wanted to show, how sound works in film.
Oh, how beautiful.
And they wanted to have a volunteer from the audience.
Of course you did.
I got up on stage. I think I was like 5 years old.
Oh, how cute is that?
Yeah, so I like to think that's my first set.
Maybe. I love it. Yeah. I love that so much. That is so cute. So I wonder if you hadn't have gone to Universal Studios, if you'd be where you are today, because that inspired you, didn't it?
Yeah, of course it does. Yeah, you kind of get a high off the stage, just like I'm sure you do off the radio and whatnot, and the films that you've done, and, and that sort of thing. So
that sticks with you.
Still chasing. Right?
Yeah, still chasing. So was there a moment growing up when you knew you were funny? Like, yeah, man, I could do this.
Yeah, probably getting in trouble a lot in school, right?
Ooh, yeah, there
if you're
you
in
go.
the principal's office, you're like, maybe comedy.
That's pretty good. I was only in the principal's office in grade school. I was in the principal's office in high school, but as a kid, one time, Sister Valeria, she scared me half to death, and I was never naughty again.
There you go. Well, we both went in Catholic schools.
Yeah,
so
Catholic schools.
Yeah, absolutely.
So before comedy, what did you picture yourself doing as a career, or was this always the dream?
Yeah, it was kind of always the dream. I think I can say that. When I went to college, I thought that I wanted to be in broadcast news or some kind of news anchor or reporter. And I worked for the Daily Islander. Worked for, that was my student activity that I would do. And I wanted to write humor columns in the newspaper, funny opinion articles.
Oh, fun.
And I turned some in, and the editor was like, "These aren't funny."
No.
And so you're right. And so I was like, well, I'll show you. I'll go down to the open mic at the comedy club.
There you go.
And I'll film the set. And I'll do this as a set, and I'll film it. And when they laugh on the tape, then I'll prove it to you that it was funny.
I love it.
And then I went down, and you get such a rush, such a high off the that I thought, oh, never mind. I don't want to do any of that. I want to do this. This is real fun. Yeah. And so kind of shifted gears there into the comedy world.
How fabulous is that? So what inspired you to choose stand-up comedy then as your full-time grind?
Yeah, I think some of it gets into just like what we were talking about, you're chasing, but really the full-time thing probably happened when you had mentioned that I met Steve-O and Tom Green.
Yes.
And they had let me open for them and stuff. And at the time, I actually opened for them in Vegas when I was still living in Iowa. So I was flying out and opening for them, but still not doing it full-time. And Tom Green introduced me to Preston Lacey, who's the big guy on MTV's Jackass. And so when I met Preston didn't have like a comedy manager or anybody selling his tours.
Yeah.
And so Preston was like, well, you can open for me and you can sell me to different places and that sort of thing. And
wow.
he had the draw. And then all of a sudden I was making money off of not only my show, but off of the agent side of things too.
Wow,
And
cool.
so then I was making money and we're touring. And
Yeah.
before I know it, we had a 40 show tour all across the US.
Oh my
And,
gosh, 40 shows?
40 shows. Yeah, we did almost
wow.
I think we did almost every state together
Oh, how
over the years.
beautiful.
Yeah, that really got me started.
I love that. You know, you shared the stage with some really legendary personalities. What was it like working with Rob Van Dam in Headstrong?
Yeah, Rob Van Dam is great, man. RVD, WWE Hall of Famer.
Yes.
Just a great guy. And Rob, when I met him, I opened for Rob in Las Vegas. And so I had been selling these acts like Preston. And I said, you know, I could probably sell you on a tour. And Rob said, you can't afford me. And I was like, all right, fair enough, you know. And then I had given him like a business card or something. And then a couple, like maybe, I don't know, a month later, I got a call from him and he was like, you know, I just want to get out of the house. I want to do stand up. And so we started these tours and we did probably, I think 4 big run tours across the country.
Wow.
And then finally I decided, and this is a mutual decision between all of us, but I had encouraged Rob to hire a gentleman named Joe Clark, who's an Iowa filmmaker now out in Los Angeles. And Joe and I went to college together. And I said, Joe should come and film the tour so we can have some promotional video.
Right.
Instead, what we got was a full-length feature documentary that shows me and Rob doing stand-up together.
Ooh.
But Rob has a concussion, and then it kind of
course.
shifts in the middle of it and becomes this heartfelt concussion documentary thing. And
my. Where can our viewers see that?
Yeah, sorry, you can see that on Tubi. You can see it on YouTube. You can buy it on Amazon. It's all over the place.
How beautiful.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So you've performed all over the Vegas Strip. Do you have a favorite venue or most unforgettable performance?
Yeah, you know, I loved playing in Vegas everywhere. I loved playing at MGM. I played at the Stratosphere and whatnot. One of the most fun performances I probably did, though, was at a casino. It's flipped names a couple times. It's originally the San Remo, and it's kind of right on the Strip off, but next to the Tropicana, and now it's the Oyo. It was the Hooters Casino at one point, and, and all that. The Oyo, yeah.
Oyo.
And so we would play at this, excuse me, at the Oyo, and it was a show called Hilarious 7. And so it's 7 comedians doing 10 minutes each. And then they have big clocks on the wall.
Oh,
and
wow.
So the clocks, like, they count down the time, and then they buzz you off at the end if you hit the time. Well, I got to a point where I could structure my sets where I knew, like, okay, I can see the clock. So in the first 30 seconds, I'm going to do these jokes, and then I'm going to get into crowd work for 5.5 minutes, and then loop it all back together at the end and stuff. So it was such a different experience in that you don't normally get that showcase style. Normally there's one big headliner doing an hour or something.
Exactly.
So yeah, it was competitive and fun.
Wow, fun. So what goes on behind the scenes that fans never see? Any backstage funnies or disasters?
You know, something that goes on a lot behind the scenes that I think a lot of people don't know about is comedians will chop it up or joke around a lot in the parking lot or right outside the venue. Right? And so I'll call my comedian friends and I'll say, how'd your set go last night? And they'll go, I did okay on stage. I was killing in the parking lot. In the parking lot, really. He's like, oh man, my set in the parking lot.
Oh my God, that's hilarious. Yeah. So your comedy has caught the eye of wild personalities like Steve-O and Tom Green. What's the weirdest compliment or comment you've ever gotten from a fellow comic?
With compliment, I think Steve-O once told me I was so nervous when I was around him because I think I was 23 years old and I was a big fan too.
Yes.
And so I was just like, oh, is this okay? Is that and he goes, you're doing everything right. Just keep doing what you're doing and stuff. And so that really gave me the confidence to go on and do everything that I did. And Tom Green, who I later did a second residency with in Vegas. I was his opener, 5 shows a week at Bally's. Wow. I mean, Tom just opened. He was so nice to me. I still don't really understand why, other than he's a generous guy. And I grew up in that MTV. I was probably 13 or so when that show was on TV. So to me, it was like I was getting to hang out with Bugs Bunny or Batman or something like that. He was my idol when I was a kid. So.
Oh, wow. Yeah. That's beautiful. Is there a moment from a show that completely caught you off guard, good or bad?
Like when I was on stage?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes you hear stuff that you're just like, what? I do a lot of crowd work in my show.
Okay.
So
fun.
When I first started, I would go out and I thought, comedian, you have to do the same thing. You have to say the same jokes.
No.
And I toured for years like that. And it was driving me nuts. I think the audiences were having fun, because I was getting booked back and the clubs liked it.
Yeah.
But it got to a point for me where I was like, gosh, I'm really losing it out here, because I wouldn't talk to anybody like all day because I was traveling. And then I would get to these towns and I would say the same thing and go back to bed and go to the next venue and say the same thing. And so I was like, I'm going to get and improv a lot with the audience. So it's different for me, at least. Right. And then along the way, that made it genuine for them. What I would get from audiences back is the next day, I would sometimes come up with nicknames for them and stuff like that. And I would get like a text message the next day saying, hey, it's the maintenance man from South Dakota or whatever. They would call themselves that name. So
that's adorable.
Yeah, that was always so genuine and fun to stay in touch with people like that.
Oh my God, I love it. Hey, let's talk about pet peeves. What's something that drives you absolutely crazy on or off stage?
There's really not much that bothers me on stage, which is, I kind of embrace the chaos and embrace anything that can, I feed off that a lot.
Yeah.
Actually, what can kind of get me sometimes is super polite audiences that are just like, I like when they're a little rowdy.
Yeah.
Last night I did a show with Randy from Trailer Park Boys, and such a rowdy venue. It's called Raccoon Motel in Davenport, but it wasn't seated. They're all standing like and they were rowdy like a concert, and I feed off that.
I love it.
At one point I visited London and I did comedy there. And when I did comedy in London, they're very everything's very posh, everything's very posh. And so the comedians would go on stage and they would say, may I tell you a joke? And then the audience would be like, you may.
Oh,
and I was
my God.
So I get up and I'm kind of crazy. And the booker comes up to me afterwards. He goes, you're very funny. You're horrifying. You scare the audience into laughing. And I was like, I don't think that. I think I'm an American. I think that's just a different style.
You're horrifying.
Yeah.
That's pretty good. So who are your biggest influences, comedians or otherwise, who helped shape your style?
Yeah, I had a lot of different people help shape my style and whatnot. One of the people that influenced me a lot lives right here in town. Don Trinagel, our mutual friend.
Yes, our mutual friend.
Yeah.
Hey, Don.
Hi, Don.
And Megan.
Also known as Donzilla in the comedy world.
Donzilla.
And so I met Donzilla when I was, again, probably like 22 or so. And Don was great in that he was promoting his own shows and booking himself. And so I learned a lot from Don. He was always excellent in that he never tried to alter my act in any way.
Oh, beautiful.
But he would let me open for him all the time.
Wow.
And really help me see the business side of things.
Wow.
Which later I kind of carried into working with some of these celebrities and other things. And we all just did a film together. We're in the Huskies movie that Don produced. And
so how can our viewers find that film?
Yeah, you can find that film on, it's on Plex, it's on Fossum. It's absolutely free on there. You want to get a DVD for a keepsake because it was filmed here in Cedar Falls, Waterloo. And so you can go on Amazon.com and get DVDs and Blu-rays.
Oh, so much fun doing that film. Once in a lifetime experience. So tell me, people probably think they know you from your shows, but what's a little known fact that would surprise them?
Something that's little known about me is I'm a vegan. I don't eat anything I am. I don't eat any animals or anything like that. No milk, no dairy, anything like that. So is my wife as well. And I fought kicking and screaming into it.
I would guess.
She convinced me. I see the moral side of it now, and I'm in full hook, line, and
Oh,
sinker.
bless your heart.
But yeah,
Yeah.
at first I was like, there's no animals in ranch dressing, right? And whatever. I'm a big guy, you know, so
Right.
so it's tough for me, but it's
Oh,
been so
of
rewarding and
course.
cool, and
Oh,
you know,
how long have you been a vegan?
I have been on and off with it, but again, I'm back like 4 months into it now.
Good for
So yeah.
you. Oh
Mhm.
my gosh, that's impressive. So if you could go back in time and give your younger self a piece of advice, what would you say?
You know, I would say that when I tour to soak everything up better, there's a thing with comedians where we would tour, and I don't know if everybody experiences that does comedy, but certainly for me, when I would tour, I would get in a habit again, kind of you're saying the same stuff, but really you're going back to these comedy clubs or back to these venues and you're doing the same stuff. But I think the real point of touring is to learn about every different place that you're at. You know, even
Oh,
here in Iowa, Cedar Rapids is different than Iowa
yes.
City, is different than Des Moines,
Right.
is different than the Cedar Valley, right? And so
Yes.
as you kind of soak all that up, I think
Mhm.
what it does is eventually it takes your act and makes it very middle road, you know, so that there's a little bit of Texas perspective, a little bit of East Coast, West Coast.
Mhm.
I went all over Canada and all
Wow.
that, and then you know then you have a better perspective on life just by touring around.
Exactly. So, what's still on your bucket list, either professionally or personally?
Yeah, you know, one thing that I would like to do professionally is I'd like to do more films and that sort of thing. I'd like to put myself out more and audition. I've been in quite a few. I've got a cool IMDb that's got them all listed,
Nice.
but never done, you know, what I always think is enough, you know, and
Yeah.
so would like to audition more and that sort of thing. So need to put myself out there in that regard.
There you go. So, who was your biggest influence, comedian or otherwise, that helped shape your style?
Probably my style. There was a guy who's passed away. He was a good friend of mine. His name was
Mm,
Bruce J. And Bruce
mm,
was from Cedar Rapids originally, and then he had gone out to L.A. and done the thing out there. And without kind of being depressing here, he had bad diabetes and he lost his leg, and so
oh, bless his heart.
he moves back
Oh,
to
poor thing.
Cedar Rapids, and he would hang out at the comedy club all the time. And I thought he was kind of this wacky, crazy guy until I started seeing him go up on stage, and Bruce would just crush. He would absolutely kill
Really?
every
Oh,
time he'd go up.
wow.
And so it was this interesting resource to have Bruce around because Bruce had already lived it. He had already been out to LA. He had played the Laugh Factory. He had done
Wow.
movies and television and all that
Nice.
and stuff and commercials. And so he was this incredible resource willing to help me, I think because he
Yes.
admired my ambition.
Oh,
So he really influenced me. And then later, one of his mutual friends is this Butch Bradley, who's the headliner at the Stratosphere in
yeah.
Las Vegas, the resident headliner. And later, I move out to Vegas and I'm able to be around Butch, but also the other celebrities that we met. You know, Rob Van Dam and I are super close, and
Nice.
yeah.
I love that. So, what shows, tours, or appearances do you have coming up that fans should know about?
Well, I'd really like in this area, I'd really like you guys to come see me at the Oster Regent Theater. That's
Yes.
November 15th. I'm going to be
Yes.
at the Oster Regent with two other very funny local comics, Adam Meyer, Jacob Regan. We are going to be at the Oster Regent. That's November 15th. You want to get
Yes.
tickets? You can do that at the Oster Regent website. You can do it at
Mhm.
my website. That's TomGarlandStandUp.com.
Okay, very cool. And I'm giving away 10 pair here on 106.5 Corn Country. It's called the Laugh Your Corn Off contest. All you have to do, you don't even have to answer any questions. You simply get on the website, do it right now, iowacorncountry.com. From the contest tab, the drop down menu, you simply select Laugh Your Corn Off and click on that, put your contact info in there, and boom, I'll be drawing in my show Monday, November 10th at 4:40. You should be one of the winners. You'll pick your tickets up at the Oster Region Theater, either at the will call window or anytime during the day when they're open. Once you find out you're a winner. And you're a winner if you see this guy. I tell you what, it's going to be a great show. I cannot wait. So, where can people connect with you, Tom, online? Social media, website, all that good stuff.
Yeah, if you just Google my name, Tom Garland, all my stuff will come up. I'd love if you watch my comedy special. It's called Tom Garland Selling Out. It's a full hour
Ooh.
special. It's free on Tubi. You can
Yay.
watch that. You watch some of the movies that I've been in. You can link up to those on my website. But again, come see me live. That's where the real magic happens.
Yes.
Oster Regent on November 15th. And if you're traveling, I'm actually going to be out in Las Vegas on the first weekend of December, headlining on Fremont Street.
Sweet. I love that. Okay. Any closing thoughts that you'd like to leave us with?
Thank you, Vicki.
Oh,
I appreciate you having me.
pleasure.
This is
My
excellent.
pleasure. It was so much fun.
I loved it.
You know, you have to laugh in life, right?
Absolutely.
Because the alternative, right? Yeah, no, don't be doing that. Laugh with this guy. I will see you at the Oster Region Theater again Monday, November 10th. Or no, that's when I give away the tickets. Monday, November 10th at 4:40. You need to win your tickets here, all right, for free. That's $20 a piece, $40 retail value for a pair. And then the show is when?
The show is November 15th. That's a Saturday night.
Yes.
Oster Regent Theater, downtown Cedar Falls, Main Street.
Yes, there you go.
Come see
Be
us.
there or be square. Thank you so much, Tom.
Thanks.
It's been a pleasure.